I just do this on the side while I'm working. So it's kind of a, you know, make money working on cars, and I spend all my money to work on my car. Just always working. I'm Matt Frater here at Holley LS Fest East. From Minnesota, up in Minneapolis area. Brought my 86 Toyota pickup here. It's a little different in the grand scheme of things. You can see up front, obviously, hood scoop. It is actually functional. Pushes the front end down, and you'll find out later why it needs that. Because if you look under, there is no engine. And no, it's not electric, that is a fuel cell. So it is running E85. It is like a 16 or 17 gallon cell. It's got Chase Bay manual brake master, Chase Bay clutch master, nothing too exciting up front. We are running 3 radiators in the front to keep this thing cool, because you'll find out when we wander around back, but party is in the back. So it is a 5.3 aluminum block, originally, LS obviously. It has been de-stroked to a 4.8 liter engine. It's got stock heads on it, BTR, truck Norris camshaft, BTR full rocker arms, chromoly push rods. Just a done up valve train. There's really nothing on the bottom end that's different. I mean, it's got Summit Racing rods and pistons to handle the boost that we're running with it. And it's got twin 62 mil VS Racing turbos. And to make it all really happen is the gearbox, because I didn't want to stretch this thing, you know, the wheelbase wise, because there has been examples of people doing that, but I wanted to keep the stock wheelbase. One, to keep it in classes and out of some of the really hardcore guys. So a lot of time went into figuring out what kind of a box I can fit in this that can handle the power. So this is actually a Porsche Boxster S gearbox. So early 2000s units. They're supposedly rated for like 400 or 500 foot-pounds horsepower kind of range, but nobody really knows, because, you know, Porsche guys, they're rocking these flat V6s and they don't make this kind of power, so it's kind of an unknown. It is made by Getrag out of Germany, so it's a pretty stout box. It takes I have a big fancy hydraulic press at home that I use to press the gears off. Like, it's a whole faff to even go in there and do stuff. It's not serviceable or nice really in any way. It has failed now 3 or 4 times, I think, on me. First year in 2020 or 21, we actually were running it, and first pass down the strip when I was running an iron block 5.3, I grenaded the differential spider gear side gears, shredded, turned them to bits. So we had to reached out, found some guys found Wave Track lockers, and they made actually a locker that fits in these Porsche boxes. So I got a Wave Track locker in it. Then I continued to run it. Then I blew up. Oh no, I stripped off the stub shafts on the side. They're just little stub axles, dealio, and they're just C-clips, so they just pop in and stay. And I got enough momentum at one point during drag week in 24 that I just sheared it off last day. I was going for broke, you know. I wanted to try and get down the track, break into the 11s when I was running NA, but so then I went back to Wave Track and CMS, that I also contact and work with, because I'm running a bunch of CMS shift forks and CMS billet cover plate, trying to keep the thing in one piece. And they came up with this kind of with me to figure out a way to get stronger stub axles, and we're actually running a G50 bolt-in style stub axle, and then Wave Track put in special meshed gears that'll accept the bolt-in style. So there's no like you know, ramp up or smacking when you launch it per se with a C-clip that allows some spline movement. These are bolted, no movement. So it hasn't broken yet since that. Then obviously a homemade cage on it, because nobody makes a cage or a blast shield for a Boxster Transaxle. Then it's connected to the engine via Kennedy's adapter, billet plates, and then it's got a big old flywheel in it that's probably like 2-3 inches freaking thick. It's a twin disc clutch on it as well. It's rated for like 600 horse, something like that ish. Why the Toyota? Oh man, I had it. There's this classic case. I bought it out of high school right when I was 16. Went to South Dakota to get it from a shop teacher. It was the cleanest one you could find. Like, it was rust free. It was original engine, original everything. It was actually low miles. It was like only like over 100, like 120, 130 or something like that. And I was keeping it like that for a long time. And then in high school, I tried to do 100 miles per hour in it, and the stock 22R did not have it. And the head gasket went, dumped coolant out the pipe. I mean, it just sent it to the grave. And my shop teacher at the time, Mr. Obanis, he was like, oh man, it'd be so easy to swap a small block in it. Why don't you just do that rather than rebuild the 22R? I'm like, well, if you say so, you know better. It was not easy. It was such a bitch. We put it under the hood, got it working. It had a T5 World Class out of a Mustang that then adapted it to the small block 350, and the shift linkage didn't work, or the shifter was all sorts of goofy. It didn't fit in the bell housing. I actually started the car on fire at his father's shop at the time, Classic Auto Storage in Minneapolis, because we were heating it up, banging on it, and there was soundproofing on the bell housing. Yeah, caught the all inside on fire, and we put it out, but the dash was melted and all that. And then I went down to Texas for school, and then I was thinking, what am I gonna do with this truck in school? I went to UTI, and I was like, oh man, it'd be really cool to make this thing a lot more serviceable, because it's such a bitch to work under the hood. And I trained as a Mercedes tech, and these cars are super, you know, compact, hard to get at. And I'm like, man, I want something easy to work on, whatever I'm gonna do with this thing. And it's like, what if I just put the engine in the back? Then I have all the room, and then that's kind of where the whole idea came from. But the truck was really just because I had it, you know, and I didn't want to get rid of it because it was so nice. Granted, I then chopped up the cleanest 86 Toyota pickup ever, you know, which is kind of heartbreaking, but at the same time, it makes it more unique now, you know. Every winter is when I really start wrenching on it real hardcore, because it's winter up in Minnesota, you can't really race, so it's like every winter I just go a step further. It's like the first year was got the engine in, still framed, you know, ladder frame, and the next year after that was like, man, I originally that frame I was worried about like torque, and like I don't want it to break, because my first frame I ever like kind of like done up or built, and I made it ended up being almost half-inch on some of the sections where I had to join it, you know, then welded it, and it was like, this thing weighs like, it ended up weighing like 3,500 pounds. And I'm like, I'm not, this is wrong. A little mini truck weighing 3,500 pounds. I mean, it had a V8 and it was an iron block, but it was still like, this is dumb. So the next winter I went and used a piece of scaffolding we had, like racking, pallet racking, built some block chocks, pallet rack, put some more steel on it to make it real stiff, leveled it, welded the ladder frame on top of it in my garage, like 20 feet up. And I only have a 20 by 24 garage. This is what I work out of, you know, all my equipment's in there, all that. Put it in like the side, welded it, and then I cut out the frame so all my geometry stayed where it needed to be. Because all I really did was lock the subframe, which is a C5 Corvette subframe, and I locked the front so my wheelbase was factory. Obviously not width-wise, but length-wise I'm stock Toyota. And did the whole, bought a, what was it, Rogue Fabrication. I'm a tube bender, figured out how to build a cage / tube chassis. But it is still, it's not full tube chassis, it is back halved, if you will. There's like 2 sections of frame where my VIN plate or my, you know, the VIN numbers or whatever is on it. I kept that chunk. I was like, that's a good idea to keep that chunk, just in case, you know, if the DMV's like, what, or, you know, getting pulled over. I've been pulled over a couple times, and every time the cops are like, what is this? You know, I have insurance, it's fully registered and all that, and they're just like, what? Awesome. I've actually had cops pull me over and just like have a little car meet on the side, like their other buddies will come up and they're like, whoa, this thing's so cool. And they're like, oh, just keep her going, drive safe. But
now, Matt, why an LS?
Oh man, I went when I was in Texas going to school. I had a buddy, Noah, I think Noah Elliott, I forget his last name, but he was always talking about LS's. This was in 2019, 2018. He was always like, these are the best engines. He was doing, you know, LS swaps all the time, and I kind of bit into that Kool-Aid, and I'm like, man, these things are pretty sweet. And I bought my first LS powered vehicle, just a GMC Sierra, you know, and I started working on it, fiddling with it, and he's talking about it, doing all the stuff that he's doing. I'm like, wow, these are really versatile. Then I started looking up more on, like, you know, people that support the LS and people that what they're doing with LSs. I'm like, man, these things are so versatile, and it's because they're so cheap. I mean, you go try build a B58, you're dropping big bucks, or a 2JZ, you're dropping serious bucks just to get a block. I mean, my first engine block that I put in this, an iron block, I pulled out of a junkyard as a return. It was a $100 block out of You Pull Your Parts as a return. Somebody threw it away, and I'm like, I'll take that. Just rebuilt it, you know, ran it for a while. But I didn't want to go aluminum to make it lighter, but this one cost me like, I don't know, 500 bucks or whatever. But yeah, no, they're just so easy, versatile, cheap. The amount of aftermarket support is insane, and you can do just about anything. And they handle the power with 3-bolt main in the bottom. I mean, they're so stout. And the heads, big cathedral ports. I'm not even running rectangular. I think a lot of guys run that when they get into the higher power. But the cathedrals support such a high horsepower without going to the crazy head, you know. Because, you know, Dart heads or Edelbrock, or, you know, any of those guys, they're set of heads is 15, 2 grand still. I mean, which is cheap in the world of heads, but it's just the stock stuff can handle it as well as it does. I love Holley's stuff, it's great. I got a Holley high ram intake on it, the bottom plenum dealio at the top, and it's got the trick flow right in the sandwich in between. And then running the whole mess is actually the Holley Terminator X Max. And I went with that because I did the whole painless performance harness, which worked pretty good. It's kind of a bitch. I didn't really like HP tuners as much. And I found out about the Holley Terminator X Max, and it was like, oh, it's super easy, plug in. The harness is so much nicer. It was basically just drop it in, plug it in, just figure out where to mount it, and all the inputs and outputs you can have was really cool to have, because I am running a bunch of different inputs, outputs, added sensors, because I got dome control and all that. And then I also have the Holley 12.5-inch screen, I believe is what it is. Whole dash, yeah. Which is also a big selling point. You know, I saw the dash, it was a big touch screen. I'm like, I want a big old touch screen in my car. How do I get that to do? And then like, oh, Holley Terminator X Max. So it was a little bit of both. It was like the screen and the ECU is like, wow, I really want to do this. And you know, it's all wired via CAN. It's not all, you know, one-way wire, so it saves a ton of wiring. It makes it super versatile, and you can splice right in. I keep my USB in there to hook up to the laptop, and the software is super easy to use. I really like that about it. You can read it, see it. There's a lot of guys out there that'll run it on the dyno and tune. It's not like it's a one-off, just easy. It makes sense when I look at it. They have it real nicely laid out.
It's not your first LS Fest. Give us a little rundown on your experience and how you first came up to LS Fest.
First time I heard about it, I think it was just social media, Instagram I'm on, so I think I saw it there. I saw the LS Fest Texas, and I had a buddy in Texas. So I'm like, oh, I'll just make this into a trip. I'll go down there, say hi, run my car, check it out, see what it's like. We did that 2 years prior, and it was a blast. It was great. We got to go on Texas Motor Speedway, do the circle track. I mean, that was probably the coolest part, is being on the NASCAR track. Like, when do you get to do that in your own car? So cool. And it was all 8th mile. It's a real small group of guys in stick shift class there, so it makes it real fun. Everybody knows each other in their stick shift class, and it was great. So then I was like, oh, we're gonna do this again. Did it again last year, and actually I'm, this year. And this year, Zach, one of the track officials down there, he runs the whole thing, or not runs the whole thing, but he's one of the guys that, you know, shuffles people along and whatnot. He's here today as well, and he told us about Kentucky, and he's like, you know, it would be a shorter drive for you guys to go to Kentucky from Minnesota. I'm like, we're like, yeah, it probably would be. Is it as good as Texas? And he's like, oh, it's so much better. You know, there's off-road, there's drag racing, there's a grand champion, there's drifting. It's like the facility's awesome. It's like, you guys should do it. So we were pretty much sold on Kentucky from Zach. He convinced us, and we actually came out with Ethan too behind me. We're both Texas guys, and we're like, oh, let's do it. Sounds like a good time. So here we are, Kentucky first year, trying it out. Probably come back again. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it. It's been a good time.